Hey everyone, welcome back to Mandy's Minis. I'm Mandy. If you're new here, I'm glad you've joined us. If not, welcome back again. Today, I am taking on the Cyclops, and I'm going to beat the heck out of him with paint. All right, so real quickly, I'm just going to show you all the colors that I'm using because I know you guys always ask for it. But really, remember, it's just the general colors. The specific brand that I'm using isn't anything important. But here we have uh, Melverman Purple from Reaper, Bruised Purple, because what's better for a bruise, Angelic Gold from Reaper, Hard Suit Blue from Reaper, Pale Flesh from Reaper, Nightshade Purple from Reaper, which is actually more of a black than a purple. And, oh, luckily it wasn't open. Citadel, Blood for the Blood God, because what's more bloody than that? So I'm going to be working with bruises and cuts, so fresh. These are things that are happening in the battle he's in right now. If you're looking for something that's more old, coagulated blood from Green Stuff World, oh my gosh, I love this stuff. It looks so disgusting. Red in the highlights, but real deep and dark and just like coagulated blood. Super gross, and it's fabulous. So, but we're not actually going to be using that today. I'm actually going to pause, get everything all set up a little bit more, and then we're going to get started beating him up. Okay, we're going to start with bruises, and I have not done this in forever, but I always love doing it. I want to show you here, I am using an old crappy brush. Do not use your good brush on bruises. And you can always check reference photos. That is the best way to kind of show fresh bruises versus old bruises. And a really great thing is just all the different colors. Makes it so much prettier. So I'm going to give them a nice hit right here. Nice big one. We got them good. Frequently I worry, I feel like all I do on my channel is paint all these pretty figures. And they're great. I love pretty figures. But I also love gore, like you wouldn't believe. And I'm not really giving a whole lot of time for things to dry because I don't mind if it mixes. Because that's just going to make us more colors. And that's pretty cool in and of itself. So I'm all for that. Yellow you want to use sparingly on fresh bruises because they don't really, yellow is more of what they turn when they're healing as opposed to when they're fresh. So it's there a little bit, but not quite that much. And all we're going to do is keep pushing these colors around and kind of mixing them so we get something that makes us go, ouch. That's when you know you've done it right. I love showing my husband and making Ben get all squeamish. He's like, that looks so painful. Then you know you've done it right. You know, we can also throw some red in here. I just have some leftover red on my palette. It's a scale 75 color. And I just want to add a little bit of that to it too, because look at how it's more of a fuchsia. I think it's scale 75 fuchsia actually. But look at how nice that looks. That looks like he's in pain there. Let's do a few more. All right, where else did we hit him? Let's hit him on the back. get him right down here. We'll get a nice big bruise. And you also don't want to make it too uniform looking, because bruises are not typically in a specific shape. I mean, I guess it kind of depends. If you're hit by a specific thing, it could be, but for the most part, it's not. And you can do experiment with different shades of blue, different types of stippling to get the different colors and to get the different mixes. Really works really well. So the important thing is just to make sure you randomize it, kind of turn off your brain and don't necessarily focus. And that's another thing that makes them so much fun. So that, a little bit more of this. And that one looks nice and painful too. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch to cuts. And for this, I am using my 00 fine tip detailed brush. And you want to make sure you have lots of water in your brush so that the paint flows smoothly. Because we're going to give them a nice big cut. I think we're going to give them a nice big cut right along this leg here. Because my D&D character loves going for big characters' legs. And I've got this little mess up here where I've got a couple dots. So we'll fix it with the cut. All right, so that was the Nightshade Purple, which is a black. As you can see, it looks black. So you basically make one thin black line, and right next to it, you're going to take either your highest highlight color for the skin, which is what I'm doing. I like doing that because then you get a little bit of that pinky skin tone. But you can also do it in pure white. A lot of people recommend doing it in a white. Okay. And my lines are a bit thick, so I would actually like to go back and go back with my skin tone and thin out those lines a bit. Cuts don't usually open that much. Now the highlight color is to basically give that depth. So you've got the dark, and then you've got the which is the actual cut, and then the highlight is acting as a reflection off the opening on the skin. Okay. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take a little blood, because if we, I'm going to drop everything apparently. If we cut him that good, then we definitely would have blood. So we're going to just make this bleed, and we're going to follow gravity. So I'm going to go this way. And again, you want to turn your brain off for it, because it's not going to go in a straight line. It's blood. And we can get some drips coming down. Okay, but here's one thing you can't have. You can't have the blood on the other side of the cut, because it's certainly not going to bleed that way. So we'll fix that up. And a little thick, so come back. All right, so I've shown you 2 bruises and 1 really nice cut. And I'm going to go ahead and pause here And I'm going to add some more in, and then we'll go from there. Okay, as I'm going through and doing a few more, I have a couple more tips that I wanted to add. For one thing, if you're not sure how the blood would actually run, a good way to do it is to get a lot of water on your paintbrush so that it's dripping. Put it in the bottommost area and watch where it drips. Then you come back with more of just the paint, and let's follow that line. And that tells you exactly where where gravity is going to pull it naturally. So it looks a little bit more realistic. Another thing I forgot to mention on the bruises, one of the things that also is fun to do and helps is we take a little bit of that skin tone color and you can dab that in and make the bruise kind of blend in a little bit more. And that also makes it a little bit more irregular. So other great tips and ideas that you can do on some of them. I still have a few more places. I don't think he's beat up yet enough yet. I mean, we've got to go further. So I'm going to keep working on that, and I'll be right back to show you him all finished. Okay, here he is in all his beat up glory. And as you might notice is that he looks a bit dirtier. You can use a wash to achieve that. What I actually did was pigment powders. I used some black pigment powders because if he's whiting, he ain't gonna be all spring clean and fresh and pretty. So be sure you remember to dirty him up as well. So what did you think? Did I kick his ass or what? Let me know in the comments below what you thought, or if you have any other techniques. But that's it for me. We're going to wrap it up today. Thank you again so much for joining us, and I hope to see you on the next one. And until then, have fun and keep creating.